The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet. Program? Duh. Can't you remember how to open up your show, Gary? Well, you're stupid. Okay, sorry. Remember Greg Knapp? He used to do that on his show. He used to argue with himself on the show. I'm not kidding you. He's a great guy, but that used to drive me crazy. With more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can post your comments as well, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I pulled some stuff off the printer before I came to air, and I think not all of this is mine. Hey, Alan, could you come in here and grab some of this confidential information that belongs either to Judy or Dimitri, please? I just grabbed it by mistake. Thank you very much. This is very interesting. Anyways, everybody, welcome to the show. It's either Dimitri's or Judy's. No, don't show it. It's confidential information. Okay, I've had it. I've had it with both sides on the debate over health care. I thought this down in the gutter kind of rhetoric would end after the election. But it's continuing, and it drives me crazy. You know, this is a big issue, the health care reform question. And I want to know, what does the bill really say? I don't want to know that the Democrats are all Nazis. And I want to hear what the opposition has to say about it. But I don't want them shouting down the people who are proponents either. And I don't want those who are opposed to it being referred to as the Ku Klux Klan. Enough. Okay? Enough. When Rush Limbaugh refers to the President of the United States and the Democrats as Nazis, he has lost it. They are neither. Ask a survivor. Ask a survivor whether that is a fair depiction of the Democrats. Now, wait a minute. The Democrats aren't free on this either. Take it easy, those of you who say, well, what about the Democrats? Which is what I always get when I raise this issue. John Dingell, the dean of the House of Representatives, Democrat of Michigan, referred or compared those who come to the town hall meetings to shout them down to the Ku Klux Klan. They are not the Ku Klux Klan, Congressman Dingell. Nobody pulled you out of that town hall meeting and strung you up and lynched you on a tree. Don't be stupid. Nobody burned a cross on your front lawn because you support health care reform, Congressman Dingell. Don't be ridiculous. I'm sick of them all. The President of the United States, I believe, if you believe what you read about it, is a devotee of Saul Alinsky, who was a great community organizer, but he was also a communist and he was also a radical. He had a number of rules for radicalism, rules for radical. Alinsky's 12th rule for radicals. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Cut off the support network and isolate the target from sympathy. Go after people and not institutions. People hurt faster than institutions. This is cruel, but very effective. Direct, personalized criticism and ridicule works. Yeah, like calling somebody stupid or an idiot if you disagree with them here on News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Neener, 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 you're stupid. I mean, how juvenile is this? And these are the leaders of this so-called of our country that are firing these missives at one another. I'm just tired of it. And the disinformation campaign, don't get me started on that. One of my coworkers today emailed me a story on Newsmax.com, which is a conservative leaning, but purportedly news organization, which listed a bunch of horrible things about this 1,000-plus page proposal on health care. Now, let me just preface this by saying I happen to not be a big supporter of this particular proposal. I believe that there has to be some kind of health reform, but this thing is just fraught with issues. You recall last week we had somebody from FAIR, the anti-illegal immigration organization, on this program who said, no, you're right, Gary. The law does say, as proposed, that only U.S. citizens could opt in to the health program. But it doesn't call for any kind of verification of citizenship. So while they're saying one thing, they're doing another, which I think is reprehensible. One of the things I take issue with this particular legislation. But they listed a bunch of horrific things, just terrible things about this legislation. So, of course, poor Alan, I forwarded the information to him. I think there were like 12 different items on there. I said, Alan, would you please investigate this for me before we go on the air today and for our coworker? And it was all false. Every single item that was listed was wrong. Listen, it's okay to argue against this health proposal. We should question it. But at least hit me with the facts. Don't hit me with the disinformation. The facts are enough to make one pause. We don't have to confuse people with disinformation, and certainly not from a purported news site. I find that very disappointing and disconcerting. Why is the level of political rhetoric fallen to the gutter? Why can't we have respect for those with whom we disagree? Okay, I sometimes fall off my high moral wagon myself when people refer to the Boy Scouts as brown shirts. It is true, I ridiculed the person who said that right here on the show. And I don't know if I could control myself again if he or somebody else did it again. Cassandra in the United Kingdom. Cassandra, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Good evening, Gary. Well, I mean, you have to